So today we are celebrating. Cheers. So it's been officially a year since Tin and I purchased this house, and you guys know that it was a really outdated home that we've had to renovate and do it to our style. So it's been an interesting journey. So this video is kind of my experience having bought an old house, and any regrets that I may have, things I loved, and things I've learned. I just think it's helpful if I watch a video like this, say time last year, I feel like I could have benefited from it, so I thought let me do one. And I have seen one or two of these on YouTube, there's not many, but I was particularly inspired by Jade Van Rel's video on this as well. Everybody's experience naturally is a little bit different, so I thought let me share my experience and what I have learned. So things that I have learned, like, okay, so I've learned how to negotiate, like, so trying to do a wink, dodgy wink. Anyway, I've learned how to negotiate. I kind of knew how to negotiate already, but it has really like kind of stepped up my levels of negotiating, having that bargaining power, having that bargaining chip, because you constantly working with tradesmen, constantly negotiating. Like, another thing anyway I've learned is working with tradesmen, it's you have to be very careful which tradesmen you pick, and do your research on them, ideally recommendations. And even with recommendations, still vet them, because tradesmen, like, they're amazing. Like, obviously they're the people that help do the transformation, do you know what I mean? Some of the things we just couldn't have done on our own, so they're the people that really bring the transformation together. But tradesmen as well, they literally test, like, they have tested my patience. I'm a calm person generally, and I usually just kind of let things go, but when I'm really annoyed, then you know I'm really annoyed. So and they've just literally, it's been so testing at times. And we had one tradesman particularly which was so frustrating. The electrician that we had at first, another lesson, don't pay the tradesman before they do the work. Like, just don't do it. Because we had a tradesman and he worked, he came in and he did, he quoted us for a few bits. He's an electrician and a joiner, so he quoted us for a few bits and stuff. Anyway, without trying to go into details of the story, basically he ran away with £200 of our money, and we never saw him again. He blocked us, he never picked up our calls. Like, grateful, like, to God that we learned our lesson at the cost of £200 as opposed to like £2,000 or even more money than that. So it was really unfortunate, and that was the only, to be fair, that was the only tradesman that kind of did us really wrong. The rest of them have been quite good, so I don't want to ruin the name for all tradesmen. And if you are a tradesman out there, like, this is by no means an attack to you. It was just, obviously we had a bit of a bitter experience. I had a few bitter experiences as well, and people saying they'll come back to complete a piece of work and they didn't. But obviously, at least with some of it, we didn't actually pay them yet. Obviously being like young, and they can see it, like they can see that we're young. I think some of them tried to get away with like murder, like, and some of them are so sweet. It's been good because I will and would love to own like lots of properties and do like renovations and development, be a landlord and stuff like that. It's good experience because you kind of get to relearn how best to work with these tradesmen. So yeah, and also I've learned that it's important to have things like life insurance. So when you purchase your property, you're encouraged to have your life insurance, your home insurance, and some lenders won't even give you a mortgage without home insurance. So it's just things like that that I just really never thought about before. That, and the different types of life insurance, increasing, decreasing, like all of these different ones. And I think the biggest lesson I've had to learn is that obviously when something is not working, it is all on us. Like, there's no landlord now that, when we lived in rental accommodation, it's like, oh, this spotlight here is not working, can you please come and change the bulb, this is not this is not that. But everything is on us. And in this year we experienced a few plumbing issues which were just like, oh, which obviously were all down to us. We had to resolve it. There is no like landlord, it's our cost, like, it's all on us. So it's just, I guess, being aware that there might be some costs that may come in, and planned, and being ready to kind of have that money ready for them. I completely, like, totally underestimated the level of work that was required. I was like, yeah, we'll move in, and this time next year, basically now, the whole house would be complete. That was literally my idea, Tunde's idea. We both were like really excited, like, oh, this time next year the house will be done. Yeah, a year on, like, we still have so much to do. What's been really good as well about it taking longer than we thought is because we're trying to make sure that in everything that we do with the work with the house, it's very creative, it's very us, it's very thought out, and it's something that will stand the test of time. Like, it's not something that we're doing now and the next year we're changing. It's literally something that we want to have down for a while. And even if we had to move, it would still stand the test of time. Like, it wouldn't be like someone would have to come and just redo it all again. So we're really trying to do it to a very good standard, really good quality, really good designs and aesthetics. So it's given us time to really plan though and not rush it, and it's exhausting. Like, the amount of detailed decisions that we've had to make, it does become exhausting. Like, to all of you like interior designers out there, to all of you that work in this field, like, I've had a cap, I'd like cap off to you, like, but seriously, the level of detail that's required and the thought process that's thinking. So it's actually been nice to sort of space it out, and that way we get like good dedicated time to really look for inspiration on Pinterest and on Instagram, just in generally just really know what we want as opposed to just rushing into it. It's just taken longer, like, it just has, and that's something that I've learned, like, not to be hard on ourselves, like. But yeah, so moving on to some quick questions as well. Was it a good investment? Yes. The house in itself, being able to add that value to it, and an estate agent that actually sold us this house, she's a lovely lady, friendly. So she was catching up with Tina the other day, and she was saying like how we're so lucky the price that we got our house at, because now the price have gone up so much. We were just like, wow, it's not even a year yet. So it's just things like that. It's nice to see that the property market in this area is still booming and there's increase. So you do feel like actually we've not made a mistake in putting our roots here. And even like this, we get these letters from the estate agents as well. Just not the one that sold us our house, there's different estate agents, and there's like a few people that want to buy on our street. So we get letters come through like, oh, someone wants to buy on your street, please contact us, you know. So it's nice to know actually if people are still wanting to be here. And obviously it was a fight for us to actually even get here because of all like the bidding wars and stuff. I could probably talk about that another day. Get here, and it's nice to see that actually there's still that bit of competition out there. But anyway, even financials aside, in terms of property price increase and stuff like that, it's definitely a great investment for us. Like, it's got amazing schools and like some of the best primary schools, high schools around here. So when that time comes, so yeah, and a lot of you might be interested to know this. So how is it financially? Like, financially, really for us, it has been not much difference to when we were renting. So we rented prior to moving here for 18 months. We rented. Not been much of a difference in terms of like we still had to pay our rent and we still had to pay our bills and all of that stuff. So the only difference I would say is that cost has gone up slightly for us. Like, honestly speaking, the cost has gone up more, especially with the gas and electric. Our actual mortgage is slightly more than what our rent was, but overall though, I think that's something that we were prepared for. We knew that it's a bigger property, you know. We're renting 2-bed, 1-bed at one point. Now it's like a 3-bed. Here we've got more rooms downstairs, so never mind just even the bedroom. So we knew anyway that it was gonna cost us more, so we're just being able to plan for that because we knew that actually this is a bigger thing. But yeah, so generally financially it has been a little bit more, but not crazy more. I know a lot of you have probably wondered, like, you guys are renovating, you live in it, like, do you actually feel settled? I think it's a good point. I feel settled for sure. I do feel settled. I mean, because I know that there is no end. It's not like I'm on a tenancy agreement. Like when we're renting, we had like a year tenancy agreement, a 6 months tenancy agreement. Because there is no end of tenancy, I feel settled. I feel like actually this is my home. Like, I need to embrace it, love it, and make the most of it, and it's turned into the most beautiful home for us. So so some of you guys have asked house tour, especially on our vlog channel, house tour, like when is that coming, like do a morning routine and all of this stuff. And I love morning routines, night routines, evening routines, after work routines. I love all of those kind of routines, and I would love to share more of that on this channel. But I feel like I don't want to just show it in like a few rooms. I want it to be like me literally showing you my routine throughout the whole house. But in our house is very much at the moment, some bits like amazingly done up and some bits like super old. So we still are not at like where it's all just the same. So because of that, unfortunately we're not doing a house tour just yet. I would say to you, oh, we're gonna do one in like 6 months. But as I said before, lesson learned was I was a bit optimistic with my timing, so I'm not sure when it's coming. But when the house is fully done, guys. It's definitely coming. I'm just not sure exactly when. And finally, for the, I think, main question is, do we regret it? Like, do we have any regrets? Do we regret it? So, honestly speaking, no regrets. No regrets. I mean, choosing an old house over a new house was a big decision, and especially not just an old house, like an old house that needs everything redoing apart from the windows. It was like a huge commitment, and it has had its trying and testing times, but overall, like, I have loved every bit of it, so no regrets. What are the things that I've loved about living here? So Tina and I bought this property together. So one of the best things I think I've loved about this is just being able to work as a team. But one thing that's actually been amazing is that we have similar, like very similar tastes, which has worked out to our advantage. Like, we tend to 98% of the time agree on like what we like, what we want to do, but then obviously there is that 2% where it's just like picking our bathroom tiles. Oh wow, it was just something else. I had one idea in mind, he had one other idea in mind, and it's just been, by the way, like, but the point is, it's been like beautiful to just kind of work as a team and see us kind of do this together. And also another thing is, like, because being an old house, I think I absolutely love the freedom that we get to do whatever, like whatever. We're like, obviously in the limits of like planning permission and whatnot, it's literally just whatever, like, you know, knock a wall down, build a wall, who cares? So that's been quite fun. I think also I've absolutely loved seeing the transformation. Like, I can't even begin to explain. Like, it's like a child waiting for Christmas. Like, every time we've had work being done, like, and tradesmen around, every single day I'm like, back home I'm like, like, what have they done? Like, it's literally I know, but it's just the excitement of seeing something get transformed, like, you know, from something that just wasn't us to seeing it come into something that's completely, like, totally us. Like, that's just been so beautiful. It's just that huge sense of accomplishment, because we did save for quite a while, so to actually have saved and got it and now actually been here for like a year, it's just like, oh, God is so good. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did and you have watched this far and you are not subscribed, please subscribe and support the channel, and thumbs up if you liked it, and I shall see you in my next video next week. Bye.